Hello everyone, this is Dave Matthews from Netwrix, and thank you for joining us to attend today our short session, which is how the privileged user stole Christmas. So that said, let's get started. Just covering what's going to be happening today. We are going to cover issues that security professionals are talking about. This is IT security in the news itself. We're also going to be looking at the portrait of a privileged user, best practices for privileged account management, and finally at the end of this we have a prize draw for a £100 Amazon voucher, and that prize draw is from all of the attendees who will be present with us throughout this presentation until the end. Because your time's precious, we have created this short talk to give you information but without disrupting your day. So the aim is to have this all wrapped up nice and neatly within the next 30 minutes. So that's it. Let's move on and look at IT security in the news. Or as we talk about, these are stories that got our attention within Netwrix most recently. So the first up is Marriott Hotels. They were, at the end of November, they revealed that they had a massive database breach that has affected up to 500 million of their guests. Now this relates to Starwood Hotels, whom they acquired back in 2016. And basically what's happened is a security investigation found that there was unauthorized access to a database that was holding on to guest records. Marriott learned that during the investigation there'd been unauthorized access to the Starwood network since way back in 2014, and that the security breach doesn't just affect Marriott but also affects some of the other branded hotels, which is W Hotels, Sheraton, St. Regis, Westin, and many more. The breach included 327 million records that had a combination of name, mailing address, phone numbers, email address, passport numbers, Starwood preferred guest account information, date of birth, gender, arrival, departure information, reservation dates, communication preferences, just sort of that core customer information. Very personal information as well. What we would, under the GDPR, what we would classify as being highly sensitive and personal information. So the second aspect or second piece of news that we are talking about is the Bank of England. And basically they've, with some other UK financial authorities such as the Treasury and the FCA, they've conducted a one-day exercise that was designed to test the financial sector's resilience to a major cyber security incident that could impact the UK. And basically what they were doing was they were testing with the big banks and a number of other financial institutes and companies. They were testing to help authorities and firms identify improvements in their collective response arrangements, both improving the resilience and the response times of the sector as a whole. And probably the key words there are the resilience and the response. And this is a question that us as businesses and security professionals, we need to also be aware of. We do take care of our resilience, we do look at protecting our perimeter, but also it's that response. It's how quickly do we respond, or are we able to respond to an incident as soon as it has been detected. And then the third incident that we had come up recently was Uber's European operation was fined. They were fined £385,000 for the data breach that affected a number of British users, and this was announced by the ICO, the Information Commission Office here in the UK. For anyone who's familiar with the case, back in 2016, hackers obtained credentials to Uber's cloud service. I think it was through GitHub. And they downloaded some files that contained the records of up to 35 million users. The records included full names, phone numbers, email addresses, as well as location information for where users signed up. Uber in the US was ordered to pay 148 million US dollars, and that was for failing to notify the drivers about the breach. And that's the piece that sticks out for us again, was that they knew about the breach at the time, actually paid $100,000 in ransom to the hackers who had gained access to this information, hoping that they were going to stay true to their word, destroy the information, and that the problem was going to go away. Unfortunately, it didn't go away. That information was still leaked. And it should be noted as well that the breach, while it occurred before the introduction of GDPR, if it had occurred under the GDPR regulation, ICO could have issued fines of up to £17 million, or 4% of the company's global turnover.